How many times have you said this phrase to yourself? I'll pay all the bills first, and whatever is left over, I'll invest. Let me tell you a brutal secret. There is never anything left. The surplus is a financial urban legend. It is the Bigfoot of personal accounting. Everyone says it exists, but no one has ever seen it. Nature abhors a vacuum, and your lifestyle abhors money sitting idle in your checking account. If you wait until the end of the month to build wealth, you have lost the war before you even put your boots on. There is a simple, ancient, and ignored rule that separates the sovereigns from the slaves. Today, we're going to apply the first strike protocol. Get ready. Class is in session. I want you to visualize the scene. It is the morning of the 5th, the sacred day. You wake up, grab your phone while still in bed, and open your banking app. It is a physical sensation of relief, almost narcotic. Your shoulders relax. Your breathing gets lighter. The knot in your stomach undoes itself. That bright number on the screen with 4 or 5 digits tells you that you are safe. For a moment, your persona, that social mask you use to convince the world and yourself that everything is fine, feels validated. I work hard, you think. I deserve this money. I am a provider. I am productive. Your brain is flooded with dopamine. You feel rich. You feel in control of your destiny. But that feeling is a lie. It is a mirage in the desert, because the banking system and the consumption machine do not care what you deserve. They care about what they can extract. They built an extraction architecture so efficient, so silent, and so ruthless that before you even decide what to do with the money, it already has an owner. It already has a destination. It has already been promised. The rent or the mortgage eats 30 or 40% before breakfast. The payment for that car, which you bought to impress people in traffic who don't even look at your face, eats another 15%. The credit card, with the installment payments from last Christmas and that dinner you don't even remember tasting, takes another 20. The streaming subscriptions you don't watch, the gym you pay for to encourage yourself but never go to, the expensive coffee that became an automatic habit. These are small vampires. Invisible leeches attached to your financial jugular, draining your vital energy drop by drop. Wednesday arrives, 48 hours after the deposit. The euphoria of payday has turned into a moral hangover. You open the app again, but now with fear. You cover the screen with your hand, peeking through your fingers. You look at the balance and see 3 digits, maybe 2. And the cold panic sets in. You think, I earn good money. My friends think I'm rich. Why do I feel so poor? Where did my effort go? The problem is not the math of your salary. The problem is not that you earn too little, although earning more always helps. The problem is the order of operations. In school, you were taught that the order of factors does not alter the product. In finance, the order of factors alters your destiny. The order of factors determines whether you will be a master of capital or a servant of debt. You are treating your paycheck as a suggestion for spending, instead of treating it as a strategic resource of war. You are playing defense. You wait for the bills to attack, to see if there is any soldier left alive to defend your future. And guess what? The attack of the bills is relentless. They never miss. They never forget. They never take a vacation. Today we're going to flip the board. We're going to turn the tables. We're going to talk about a strategy that some authors call eating the frog, but that I, Buck, prefer to call the first strike protocol. It seems simple, almost stupidly simple, but execution requires a coldness that most people do not have. We are talking about paying yourself first, but not as a piece of fortune cookie advice or a motivational Instagram quote. As martial law imposed on your own life, a rule that cannot be broken no matter what happens. Why first strike? Why eat the frog? The idea comes from an old maxim. If you have to swallow a live frog, it is best to do it right away in the morning on an empty stomach. If you leave the frog on the table and keep looking at it, it doesn't get prettier, it gets uglier. It looks bigger. The smell gets worse. It starts croaking. Your anxiety increases. You lose your appetite. You can't concentrate on anything else. And you spend the entire day with the weight of that disgusting task hanging over your head, draining your willpower. In finance, the frog is the hardest task, taking money from your present and comfortable consumption to guarantee your future and uncertain freedom. Human instinct seeks immediate pleasure. We are programmed to survive the now, not to plan for 30 years from now. Your reptilian brain wants the new shoe, the expensive dinner, the tech gadget that shines. It wants the dopamine now. Investing for the future you, that old person who will need medicine, a roof, and dignity 30 years from now, does not give immediate pleasure. It does not generate dopamine. It does not generate likes. It is boring. It is painful. It is deprivation. It is the frog. So, what does the herd do? What do 95% of people do? The herd pushes the frog to the end of the day. They say, I'll pay everything, live my life, be happy, and on the 30th, if there is money there, I'll transfer it to the brokerage. But there is a fundamental law, almost a law of physics, called Parkinson's law. It says that demand for a resource always expands to match the supply of that resource. Let me give you an example you will understand immediately. Toothpaste. When the tube of toothpaste is new and full, you put a generous amount on the brush. You waste it. You don't think. But when the tube is at the end, when you have to squeeze, roll, and fight to get the little bit left out, suddenly that little bit lasts 2 weeks. You become incredibly efficient with scarcity. With money, it is the same thing. If you have money in your checking account, your brain sees that as available resource. You will find an urgent reason to spend it. The car will need better tires. A friend will invite you to a can't-miss birthday. You will feel sad and need some retail therapy on Amazon. The surplus never exists because your subconscious does not allow it to exist. It sees free money as a problem to be solved by spending. The rich, the true sovereigns, do the opposite. They understand Parkinson's law and use it to their advantage. They eat the frog before breakfast. The second the salary hits the account, before paying the electricity, before paying the rent, before buying food. They transfer the Sovereignty Tithe. The money leaves the checking account and goes to a place where it cannot be easily touched. It goes to a brokerage, to a fund, far from the eyes. They become artificially poor for the rest of the month. And this is the smartest, most strategic, and most powerful thing you can do. When you withdraw, let's say, 20% of your salary right in the first minute and send it to investment, you create a scenario of artificial scarcity. You empty the toothpaste tube on purpose. Let's use real numbers to take this out of theory. Let's say you take home $4,000 net. If you leave the $4,000 in the account, you will adjust your standard of living to cost $4,000, or $4,200 using the credit card. You will rent an apartment for $1,500. You will have a car payment of $500. You will eat out 3 times a week. Now imagine that on the 5th at 8 in the morning, you transfer $800, but 20% to your freedom account. The money is gone, evaporated. $3,200 are left in the checking account. Do you panic? Do you starve? No. The human being is the most efficient adaptation machine on the planet. We survived ice ages. You can survive a tighter budget. You look at the $3,200 and your mind starts working in efficiency mode. Maybe that $1,500 apartment is too expensive. I'll look for one for $1,200. Maybe I don't need all these streaming subscriptions that I don't even have time to watch. Maybe I can cook more at home and bring lunch, which is healthier and cheaper. You adjust to what is available. Scarcity forces creativity. Abundance generates waste and complacency. By paying yourself first, you force your life to fit into what is left, not the other way around. You ensure that your future is paid for, protected, and armored, and your present can deal with the rest. The present is resourceful. It will find a way. I know what you are thinking. I hear this objection every day. Buck, this is beautiful in theory, but I have real bills. I have kids. I have debts. I can't just pretend the electric bill doesn't exist. The bank doesn't accept mindset as payment. I hear you, and you are right. You cannot ignore mathematical reality, but you can restructure reality. The problem with most people is not the lack of punctual money, it is the semantic and emotional confusion between need and want. The marketing system is genius, perverse, and brilliant at transforming luxuries into basic needs. They convinced you that having a brand new car is a safety necessity for your family. They convinced you that ordering food delivery 3 times a week is a mental health necessity because you deserve to rest. They convinced you that the most expensive phone, with the camera you don't know how to use, is an indispensable work tool. This is a lie. This is assisted financial suicide. If you want to build wealth, you need to be brutally honest about what is essential. The real needs are few and boring: shelter, safe, not luxurious. Food from the grocery store, cooked at home, not from a restaurant. Basic transportation. That gets you from point A to B, not that massages your back. Electricity, water, internet, to work and produce. Health, period. Everything else. Netflix, Starbucks, luxury gym with scented towels, designer clothes, financed car with a sunroof, are wants. They are luxuries, and you have every right to have luxuries. I want you to have luxuries. But you do not have the right to call them needs and use them as an excuse not to invest in your future. You cannot sacrifice your freedom to pay for your comfort. Here is a tactical target for you to chase. A metric to know if your life is sustainable or if you are heading for structural collapse. Your real needs, those we listed above, should not consume more than 60% of your net salary. 60%? Not 80, not 90, and definitely not 110. But Buck, my rent alone is 50% of my salary. What do I do? Then you have a serious problem, a foundation problem. You're living in a house you cannot afford. You're living a real estate lie. You're a luxury tenant with an intern salary. Math is cold and has no feelings. It doesn't care if you like the neighborhood. If your fixed needs consume 80% of what you earn, any headwind knocks down your castle. An increase in gas prices, an unexpected medicine, a rent hike, and you go into overdraft. If you are in this situation, the solution is not cutting the coffee or canceling Spotify. That is trying to empty the Titanic with a teaspoon. The solution is structural. It is tectonic. Maybe you need to move to a cheaper neighborhood. Maybe you need to sell the financed car and buy a cheaper, reliable one for cash. Maybe you need to get a roommate to split the bills. Does it hurt? Yes. Does the ego suffer? It suffers a lot. But it is better to have a bruised ego and a full bank account than to look rich to the neighbor and not be able to sleep from worry, waking up at 3 a.m. doing mental math. Now that we understand the philosophy, let's go to practice. What should the flow of your money look like on payday? It is not random. It is not whatever works. There is a military hierarchy of priorities, a battle protocol. Step 1. The Sovereignty Tithe. Pay yourself first, before anything, before breathing, before checking the price of milk. Transfer a percentage out of your sight. Start with 1% if things are tight. Go to 5. Aim for 20. The target is 50. The amount matters less than the habit. You're training your brain to understand that you are the most important creditor in your life. You're telling the universe, my freedom comes before the profit of the electric company. Automate this. Schedule an automatic transfer for the day after payday. Take the human factor out of the equation. If you have to decide to save every month, you will fail. Make it automatic. Step 2. Hold the defense line. Debts. Pay the minimum on all your debts. On time. Do not be late. Being late generates fines and destroys your credit score. Your credit is an invisible asset. If you destroy your banking reputation, everything will be more expensive in the future. Insurance, rent, loans. Keep the defense line intact. Do not let the enemy advance. Step 3. The Fortress of Solitude. Emergency fund. This is where people deceive themselves and sabotage their own progress. An emergency fund is not to buy a wedding gift. It is not for the vacation trip that appeared on an unmissable sale. It is not for Christmas. Christmas happens every year on the same day. That is not an emergency. It is a lack of planning. An emergency fund is for chaos. It is for the unpredictable. It is for when the car breaks down, the tooth gets infected, the roof leaks, or the layoff comes on a rainy Tuesday. You need 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses kept in a liquid and boring account. No risk, no emotion, no miraculous yield. Why is this vital? Because without an emergency fund, any unforeseen event becomes debt. If the car breaks down and you have no money, you swipe the card, and then you pay interest. The emergency pushes you backward. You take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. With the fund, the emergency is just an inconvenience, a logistical annoyance. You pay, the problem goes away, and you stay in the game. The emergency fund transforms financial crises into mere boring stories to tell at the bar. Step 4. The attack. Investment and match. If your company offers a retirement plan with a match, the famous company match, this is maximum investment priority. If you put in 100 and the company puts in 100, you had a 100% return the second the money left your hand. There is no investment in the world that beats that. Not even Warren Buffett does that. Refusing the match is tearing up free money. It is offensive to intelligence. It is leaving money on the table that should be yours. Take everything they offer. It is part of your salary that is disguised. Step 5. Total war. Debt elimination. Now, with the fund guaranteed and the initial investment made, you attack high-interest debts with the fury of a berserker warrior. Credit card, overdraft, personal loan. These are financial cancers. They eat your life. They grow at 20, 30, 100% a year. You cannot invest expecting to earn 10% in the stock market if you're paying 20% on the card. The math doesn't add up. You're filling a bucket with a hole in it. You're running on a treadmill going backward. Here you have 2 classic strategies. The snowball, the psychological method. Pay the smallest debt first. Eliminate it fast. Feel the victory. Use that freed up money to attack the next one. It is great for those who need motivation and quick dopamine. The avalanche, the mathematical method. Pay the debt with the highest interest first. It is mathematically more efficient, saves more money in the long run, but it may take a while to see the first debt disappear. Choose the one that works for your brain. The perfect method is the one you follow to the end. The important thing is to attack. Let's say you follow the protocol. You organize the house. You pay the debts. You build the fund. And then something wonderful happens. You get promoted. Your salary increases by 20%. The world smiles at you. What do most people do? They increase their cost of living by 25%. They move to an apartment with a view. They trade their car for a safer one. They start drinking more expensive wines and eating imported cheeses. This is called lifestyle inflation. It is the silent disease of success. It is the reason why doctors and lawyers earning $300,000 a year are often broke, living paycheck to paycheck. They run faster, but the treadmill speeds up with them. They earn more, but need more to keep the machine spinning. Buck has a golden rule for raises. When you get a raise, pretend it doesn't exist for your daily consumption. Treat the raise as if it were invisible money. Take 50% of that raise and throw it straight into investments. Increase the power of your snowball. 25% to accelerate debt payoff or reinforce cash reserves. And the last 25%? Okay, have fun. Improve your lifestyle a little. Buy better wine. But never ever consume the entire raise. This is the only way to create a chasm between what you earn and what you spend. And it is in this chasm, in this margin, that wealth accumulates. It is there that freedom is born. Now, let's talk about the good part, the reward. People think Buck's system is about eternal deprivation, about suffering. They think living on a budget is living in a spreadsheet prison. It is exactly the opposite. A budget is not a leash. A budget is permission. It is a release order. When you don't know where your money goes, you feel guilt with every purchase. You buy a coffee and think, should I be spending this? Will I be short for the electric bill? You go out for dinner and feel that weight in your stomach when paying the bill, ruining the food. This is not life. This is financed anxiety. When you have a system, when you have already paid yourself first, when the bills are provisioned, when the emergency fund is full and protecting you, and you set aside, let's say, $200 for guilt-free fun. You can burn those $200 with the cleanest conscience in the world. You can buy the video game, the shoes, the expensive dinner, the massage. No guilt, no moral hangover, no looking back. Because that money had that function. It was born to die for your fun. You are following the plan, not sabotaging the plan. Discipline gives you the freedom to enjoy money. Lack of discipline condemns you to be a slave to it, afraid of every penny spent. Payday is coming again. The cycle restarts. You have a binary choice to make. You can keep doing what you have always done. Treat money like an unexpected visitor that needs to be kicked out of your account as quickly as possible through consumption. You can keep feeling that 5-minute euphoria followed by 29 days of anxiety and regret. You can keep being a financial procrastinator, saying you will start investing next month, when things calm down, when Christmas passes, when Carnival ends. Spoiler: things never calm down. Life is entropy. Chaos is the norm. Or, you can eat the frog. You can apply the first strike protocol. You can be the general of your money, not its hostage. Will it hurt? Yes. The ego will scream. Will it require sacrifice? Definitely. Will your friends think it's weird that you don't keep up with their spending pace? Yes. They will call you cheap. They will call you boring. But 10 years from now, when they are complaining about the crisis, stuck in jobs they hate because they need to pay bills that never end, divorced because of money, stressed and hopeless, you will be sitting on a mountain of sovereignty. You will have options. You can stop working if you want. You will have time to watch your kids grow. You will have dignity. The frog tastes terrible going down. It is bitter. It is slimy. But financial freedom has the sweetest taste there is, the taste of peace. The choice is yours. The money is yours. The future is yours. Do not waste your ammo. But I know what happens when the video ends. Motivation cools down. Real life knocks on the door. And you ask yourself, okay, Buck, I understood the strategy, but what exactly do I do tomorrow morning and the day after tomorrow? Tactical discipline is what separates those who watch videos from those who build empires. I can't be there to hold your hand every time you think about spending, but I can give you the battle orders. I have compiled the exact protocol that I use. It is not a self-help book with pretty phrases. It is a field manual for the financial trench. It is called The Order of the Day 365. High-impact actions for your financial sovereignty. 1 mission per day. No excuses. No fluff. If you want to stop guessing and start executing like a professional, the link is in the first pinned comment. Get your copy. Receive your order. And go to war. Keep your numbers clear and your soul free. I am Buck, and you can count on me. See you in the next chapter.